Alright, we're back on game. I want to say this right now. We're going to get into it today. There's too much lying. There's too much hypocrisy, especially with these SJWs. Over the weekend, for those who don't know, alright, there was a hashtag going around saying, I stand with Tariq Musa. And I'm like, what the fuck is this all about? Who's Tariq Musa? What's going on here? And these SJWs are pushing this to the moon because apparently Tariq Musa had something to say about race in gaming. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, this is what was said. Are you fucking kidding me? So now you want to celebrate and listen to minority voices. So hold on, let me get this straight. For the previous X amount of months, matter of fact, X amount of years, us minorities have been talking and we have a voice, and you ignored us the entire time. Matter of fact, you told us not too long ago that we didn't even exist and that we had to provide photo ID. But now you want to listen to us. Really? Okay, you got me. And on top of it, you say, we should celebrate them. Celebrate what? Why do you... Look, it should be the norm that we have a voice just like anyone else. We don't need it to be celebrated. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Oh my God. Y'all make this shit worse and worse. But I want you people to remember that. Celebrate and listen to minority voices, okay? I just want to let you remember that for a minute, okay? Because we won't get into that. But we want to talk about Tariq for a minute, okay? Because for those who keep hailing him, because this is a gaming issue, this is what he spoke on, a gaming issue in gaming, you have to understand that Tariq doesn't even know what he's talking about when it comes to gaming. And if you don't believe me, this is what he said himself. SJWs want to champion a guy who doesn't know shit in gaming. So you want to speak on gaming and don't know shit about it. I just don't understand this. I really don't understand. Not only that, though. Let's be honest here, people, alright? They're only backing him because he fits their narrative. Because when the rest of us came out and said something against him, what they tell us? You need to shut up, or I'm not, you don't exist, or we're going to speak for you because you don't know any better. Did they not say that, alright? But more on this guy, alright? Because he plays the same tactics that they do. Like I said, he fits their narrative. Because then he tries to play the victim card, and guess what? He gets caught in the process. So like a loser, you name searched yourself and then went after people and said, please stop harassing me when nobody added you. When nobody talked to you straight to you directly. And because you have them blocked. But you want to still claim harassment. This is the idiocy that we have going on here. Like I said, it's the same fucking tactics. It's pathetic. Like I said, they will back anyone, no matter who, fits their narrative. Anybody who doesn't, when it comes to minorities, you don't exist. It's that simple. They won't approach you. Matter of fact, it goes even more. They say, listen though. Listen, right? That's what they say. Listen to minorities. Celebrate minorities. Remember that? Okay, I want you to remember that because right now we're getting ready to get into it. Listen to this fucking idiot. I shouldn't say listen. Read her tweets. Fucking idiot who decides she wants to take a shot at Not Your Shield. So entitled middle-class social justice warrior is now going to tell us minorities what's racist and what's not. Really, this is where you want to go. And if we don't agree with you, you can fuck off. Seriously, this is how far they've gone. And you want to sit here and say, you're for justice. You know what? I like to see that little rainbow in the back as if you really care about equality. Because you don't. But it gets worse with her. Oh, yeah, it gets worse. Then she tries to compare us once again to the KKK. Given the display that you have showcased here, the only person that's oppressive and racist is you. If you haven't realized that, parents, let me holler at you for a minute, parents. All right, real quick. Don't let your kids grow up to be this way. This is a good example of hypocrisy and hatred. And yet, of course, this child, and I call her a child, she's not a woman, she's not even, I won't even say a girl at this point, we won't say a teenager, a girl, someone who's still, trying to evolve as a human being. She's not a woman, she's a fucking child. Act this way online. I understand that people talk hard, fast, and loose, but you know and I know she sure as hell would not say any of this shit to anyone's face in person. And she knows that too. It's pretty fucking pathetic. It is. It's hypocrisy though. And that's what we're going to stay on, hypocrisy. And we're going to talk about this right now. All right? Listen to minorities, though. Listen to minorities. Yeah. Then tell us to fuck off when you don't agree. Okay? I want y'all to realize that SJWs now, this is all gamer related still, SJWs now want to remove Tifa Lockhart's big breasts from Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yeah, let that soak in for a minute. Her big breasts. Now, as we know, throughout the times of Final Fantasy VII, whether it's become the original Final Fantasy VII or up to the cinematic ones when it comes to Advent Children, we know that Tifa Lockhart's breasts have been somewhat smaller these days, and you should know no one focuses on them anyway because she's too busy punching the shit out of people. But they don't want to look at that. No, big breasts keep triggering women. I'm not understanding right now how this is a problem. All right? Especially, listen, all the shit going on in the world with women and their rights, and like I said, there's women that are being killed places simply because they want social justice. They don't talk about that shit, though, right? But you want to take big breasts away from Tifa Lockhart, all right? Character that's been that way for years, and you didn't give a shit then. Oh, wait, you weren't around then, and because it wasn't trendy back then. Now that you're here, now you want to change shit. And 9 times out of 10, you're still not going to play the fucking game anyway. But, there's more. More hypocrisy. Oh, I love this. Brianna Wu is upset over Chun Li's jiggle physics in Street Fighter V. That's right. The jiggle physics in Street Fighter V, she's upset with Chun Li's breasts. Now look, we have talked about this before with Chun Li. And if you look at the evolution of Chun Li, remember, since Street Fighter 2, I've done a video on this before about her body type. How they had to keep changing her body type to appease to more women. Remember, it was she looked too much like a Barbie doll. Then they made her more curvy. Then it was she's too curvy now. Remember, they kept changing and trying to change the formula of Chun Li to make her look like a natural woman, but still a strong fighter. Because the first thing you think of Chun Li isn't, oh, jiggle physics and breasts. You think, damn, look at those legs. But no one talks about that anymore, huh? But that's not all. No. So Brianna Wu wants to talk about jiggle physics. And Capcom came out and said it was a freakish bug that happened that made her physics, her boobs jump up around like that. Now, whether you believe that or not is up to you. We know Capcom lies a lot, so that's up to you. You can take it for how you want it. This isn't about Capcom as far as I'm concerned, okay? However, since you want to talk about jiggle physics, and apparently Chun Li's breasts trigger you, Brianna Wu, you want to explain to me how just not too long ago you came out and admitted that you loved Dead or Alive? So the game known for jiggle physics, that doesn't trigger you, but Chun Li triggers you. Matter of fact, she goes on to say that she's good at Dead or Alive. There you have it, FGC. Brianna Wu is a good DOA player. From now on, I will put it like this. Since we are seeing this, I don't want to hear any more slander about sexism in the FGC from them. No more, okay? But she says she's a good Dead or Alive player. Do you know what that means, people? People in FGC understand what I'm getting ready to get at here. But for those who aren't into fighting games, all right? When you claim that you're good at something, especially in FGC, you claim that you're good at a game, you know what that means? You've just opened up the gates. That means that every person now, DOA player, will challenge you and see just how good you really are. That's what it comes down to, all right? Oh, I forgot. We're not allowed to challenge SJWs because challenging them is offensive. It's a fucking joke. It's amazing the hypocrisy that comes out of these people's... Oh, my God. Look, Brianna Wu, I put it like this. Either shut the fuck up or now it's time for you to start playing. Because now, after this, I'm really hoping that a lot of DOA players step up to the forefront and challenge. I really hope that happens. I really do. I want to move on. And that's pretty much a good segue for talking about fighting games, I guess. So, over the weekend, we knew that CEO went down. And like I said, I was supposed to go to CEO this year, but I didn't have a chance to go. I actually went to MomoCon instead of that. So I will more than likely be going next year to CEO to compete. Okay? I just haven't nailed down exactly, after watching CEO, I haven't nailed down exactly what games I want to play yet, and I'm going to be practicing from here on out throughout the next time for CEO because I plan on taking a belt home. I plan on it. No doubt. Okay? But I will say this. Watching CEO was very interesting. Alright? It was, as you know, CEO has its own feel. And I had a chance to sit and watch the Persona tournament. Persona Arena Ultimax Suplex. And I have to say, big ups to those Persona players. Men and women who competed. I play this. You made it so fun to watch. It was, you want to talk about hype? That was hype. It was really fun to watch those people go at it, and just the back and forth, the way the flow of combat was. It wasn't robotic, as you would see as in other people when they play footsies and things of that nature at times. It gets so robotic, you're just like, okay, here it comes. Or watching Marvel and watching someone get juggled, Magneto. You know what I'm talking about. Dr. Doom, you know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, we know how that goes. But they showed heart, and they showed that anime fighters, they're really good if you learn them. Now, I'll put it like this. I will say that after I watched the Persona tournament, which was, I'm telling you, it was so hype, then they started the Guilty Gear tournament. And the Guilty Gear tournament, for me, didn't measure up to the hype that Persona had started with. And I say this due to the fact that I understand there's a speed difference, and I understand there's a playstyle difference, because, you know, I understand. I've been playing Guilty Gear for years. I play Persona Arena, and I know difference, okay? But when you start seeing players getting bodied free by Leo Whitefang, and I'm thinking to myself, because I'm watching on CEO stream, and I'm like, yo, do people, have they not encountered Leo Whitefang enough? How are they getting caught with this stuff? And then I'm looking at the stream chat, and the people in the stream chat are like, yo, are they not used to Leo Whitefang? What is going on here? Leo Whitefang is taking on these people out. Now, maybe it's inexperience on some of the players' behalves of not facing a Leo Whitefang. And we can always fall back and say, well, Leo Whitefang was DLC. Not everybody has DLC, and not everybody has been up against Leo Whitefang. But Leo Whitefang, for every time I saw, I put it like this, the two top characters that you saw, I'll say three. I won't say three. I'll say two. All right? This is the most. All right? Three. Leo Whitefang taking control of everything, and Slayer taking control of everything for what I've seen. It was in that tournament. In that specific tournament. And I was just like, wow. You know what I mean? And when you watch people online play, like on different streams, you see Leo Whitefang, I understand that there's different tiers of people that can play as certain characters. But when you see these things coming, and you've seen it time and time again, it's like, yo, how did you get caught by that Leo Whitefang? We all know that Slayer's a good character. We know that. Alright? But to see the stuff that Leo Whitefang was pulling out and just be like, okay, here comes that overhead. Oh, you didn't do anything about that. Oh, here it comes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you see it, and they're still not blocking it. And it's like, all right. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, the Guilty Gear tournament wasn't that great. However, I will put it like this. CEO. We talked about before how a lot of gamers feel as though gaming today has the entertainment aspect of wrestling. Right? And as we know, CEO, that's their overall theme. Wrestling. You get into an actual ring and you play, and it has its own identity. And you know what? For me, I like that. I like that the fact that CEO has that due to the fact that it sets itself apart from other tournaments. I have no problem with that. What I do have a problem with is how gamers act like fucking idiots and then try to say, I'm playing the villain role, when you're not in that aspect of CEO. Because as far as I'm concerned, it should begin and end with CEO. You want to have that wrestling thing? Go ahead. But after CEO's over, you go back to what you're used to. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, the entrances were hilarious at CEO. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, check out how this guy emulated Undertaker's entrance.
At one point in time, largely considered, he was second place last year to Luffy in Evolution. And at that point in time, he was one of those players that was considered maybe the greatest player on the planet.
Yeah, it really seemed like that.
And since then, his success has been a little bit lessened, but he is still a threat, still a very, very strong player. But his opponent is... who's his opponent? Who's his opponent? We hear the music, but where is his opponent? on stage, Dominion!
I thought that was hilarious due to the fact that anyone who's ever watched wrestling, if you ever see Undertaker, sometimes when he wants to sneak attack someone, the lights go out and they come up and he's already in the ring with them. So for me, it was really funny to see, and we saw a lot of jokes afterwards. When you couldn't see the black guy, we saw there were so many jokes. And I put it like this. It goes to show you that gamers don't always have to be seriously. You can have fun with it. We saw people try to come out like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, it has its own type of, feel for it. And I put it like this. Sonic Fox's entrance, and a lot of people give it credit. I mean, it was you know what I mean? But for those that see Sonic Fox's entrance, this is how he came out. On a ferry, mind you, this is how he came out. At this point, it's nothing but gamers having fun. And like I said, at a major, and I'll say a CEO is a major because, as you know, usually if you go through CEO and you win CEO, that's the next step before EVO. So, as we know, but I'm sure some people will argue about that as well. But it is what it is, you know what I mean? However, there are gamers that were poking fun at certain genres. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, check out this guy's t-shirt. I think that's hilarious, but if you want me to take a serious approach about it, okay, I can take a serious approach about this, okay? I can say, you shouldn't slander other games and their genres because of the fact that we're all one part of the community. So people who say anime fighters, they're not good, blah, blah, I hate anime fighters. Even if you hate anime fighters, you should still support that community due to the fact that it makes up the entire FGC. The same thing with Street Fighter, the same thing with MK, the same thing with King of Fighters, the same thing. Like, it doesn't matter what you like when it comes to said game, okay? Even though that just seems to be poking fun at Marvel. But it doesn't matter what you like said game. You should still support, I'm not saying buy it, you should still support those people playing because that's what keeps your community going. It keeps growing. You know what I mean? I guess that's how I can take a serious approach about it. But why should I take a serious approach? That's funny as hell. As far as I'm concerned. However, there are people who are starting to wake up. We've talked about this from the previous couple of weeks. And now it seems as though during CEO, one person had tweeted out this actual tweet about fanboys and how favoritism does play a part in fighting games, and Event Hubs was quick to retweet it. And that's true. It's true. But I will put it like this, alright? People who are fans of certain players, it's okay that you're a fan of them, alright? But to bag on somebody else because they're doing the same thing, that's not right. And if you're a fan of a specific player and they lose, you shouldn't bag on the person that beat them as well. And I say this due to the fact that Wildfang Gaming contacted me via Twitter not too long ago, a couple days ago during this, and said that, he beat, was it Rico Suave, right? He beat Rico Suave. And when he beat Rico Suave in MKX, all these people jumped all over him, calling him a fraud, and then he wasn't worth it, and like, look, I understand that you like Rico Suave, but guess what? I'll put it like this. Everybody loses in fighting games. It happens. Nobody is untouchable. People are going to lose. Somebody has to lose, right? And it happens. So when Wild Fang beat Rico Suave, don't sit here and tell me that you're going to call him a fraud and all these other things. It got to the point where when he voiced his transgressions to me, he said that he was done. He had went and bought a fight stick and all. He was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with this community. He was like, he even got his refund back because he was going to go to EVO. Now he's not going to EVO. He said because he's so upset at the community. You've got to be kidding me. You cannot do this to other players. Come on now. That's not right. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, he's just being sensitive and things like that. No. You have to understand that there has to be a mutual respect within each other. That's how this community has always worked. Regardless, unless you do something really bad to make yourself look like an asshole that you don't deserve respect, then you respect that player. It's that simple. If you see they're trying to run politics or some type of game, then also you don't respect that player. That's simple. But you have to understand, when players get beat, good game. That's it. If Rico's not getting salty over losing, why are the fan base getting salty over losing? I don't understand. You're not even playing. I don't get that. I really don't. And I know a lot of people will get mad over it because I'm saying it, but no, I'm talking about what was brought to my table. You know what I mean? This is what was brought to my attention. And as far as I'm concerned, like I said, if Wildfang Gaming beat them, it is what it is. It's a game. Okay, good game. You move on. I guarantee you Rico Suave was like, good game, moved on to the next thing to play. That's how it works. You know what I mean? You can't sit, it's almost like, I'll put it like this. And I hate to compare it to sports and athletes, but when athletes lose games, guess what they do? They move on and focus at the next game. You know what I mean? You got to move forward. It's the same thing. You lose a game, you move forward. You can't get to the point where you get so salty where you're going to start calling guys frauds. You're wasting time, you're wasting energy. You should be using it and chalking it as an experience. This guy beat me this way. That means I need to work on to defend this way of style of playing. That's it. I don't know why people get so upset. I really don't understand why people get upset over that. I don't. I really don't. But, and like I say, especially when it's the fans and not the player getting mad. It's the fans getting mad. I don't get that at all. Street Fighter V, let's talk about real quick. Street Fighter V, there will be a surprise tease apparently at Comic-Con. So for those who are interested in Street Fighter V, I will put the link in the info bar for you. Okay? Also, more Capcom news. Devil May Cry's future isn't tied to how well DMC SE sells. I do not believe that one bit. I don't. I really don't. Because then afterwards, Capcom hopes to steadily develop for the PS4 for now on, but the future of Devil May Cry is undecided. That's just, I really don't want to get into Capcom because, like I said, there's bigger issues that we've been dealing with today. Capcom seems like a drop in the bucket, you know what I mean? Also, I want to talk real quick about this one woman who is putting in a lot of hard work for the gaming community. I wouldn't say even for the community, it's gaming related when it comes to gaming apparel. On Etsy, this girl is making knit hats and by herself, hand-drawn knit hats, and they're of video game characters on knit hat. Said knit hat. Fighter from Final Fantasy, Black Mage, Red Mage, Link, Mega Man, Mother Brain. If you see the stuff that she does, also R2-D2, stuff like that, to see the things that she does, and they're so well crafted, and to see that she put time, energy, and she really cares that she put it into it. And when I read the reviews of these things, people are like, these things are amazing. They're highly well detailed. The pictures, they say that the pictures don't do it justice enough. And that, of course the hats fit very snug and things of that nature. But I just wanted to give her some promotion because she's working so hard on these hats. And it's amazing to see that. So I just wanted to get, like I say, if you're interested, you want to buy a hat or whatever. I'm not saying you have to, you know what I mean? But check out the hats. At least check out the hats to see how cool they look. They're really cool. Piranha Plant, they all kinds of stuff. Really cool stuff. Let's talk about Halo 5. Halo fans, I think you're going to be a little upset on this one. Halo 5 will now have microtransactions. That's right. And there will be a detail in the info bar for it so that, before anyone freaks out, you'll know what you're getting yourselves into. Okay? Now, Nintendo. Yeah. Alright. Nintendo won't discount digital releases. And it plans to reward you gamers for buying them instead. Now, I have a fucking problem. I have a big problem with this. Because for years, we have been told by companies that, the reason that this game costs X amount of dollars is because of physical issues. Because you got to process it, put it on disc, send it out, shipping. And then they said, well, digital will be cheaper. And then digital versions came out, and what happened? They didn't get any cheaper, did they? No, they didn't. And they never gave us an excuse on why they weren't cheaper. And we kept saying, well, you said, now that, all the excuses you gave us about physical, now that it's digital, you can't, justify having that price point when it comes to, the game. Because there's no distribution, there's no shipping cost, there's none of that shit, right? So the games should be cheaper. Now the companies are telling you because they're not giving you an excuse on why, really. They're just saying, no, we're just not going to make them cheaper. But we'll reward you for that. No, fuck that. Fuck that. That's not good enough. And that's not just Nintendo. That is to every other company as well doing that shit. Lower the price. Lower it. It's that simple. Like I said, your excuses, you had excuses, you ran to the well with excuses, it's run dry. There's no more excuses. Lower the price. And the only way it's going to lower the price, people, is by fan demand. You got to show that, hey, look, we're not going to buy it. Speaking of that, for those who don't know, Shovel Knight, even though it was a digital release, it is now getting a physical release, which I will be picking up now because it's a physical release. I don't have a problem with that whatsoever because the game is right up my alley, looks great. I'll support that. Physical release. I want to move on. More Nintendo news. For those who don't know. Not too long ago, there was a video put out because people were questioning, I wonder what Mario would look like in the Unreal Engine. That's right. People wanted to know. And, compare it to old Mario 64 and woohoo and jumping around and carrying on. Well, yet, someone has done it. That's right. So, you know what? Let's look at how Mario would look like on the Unreal Engine. Pretty damn good, but of course it's a demo. So if you're interested in watching the full demo, the full video of that, I will put the link in the info bar, okay? Also, we need to talk about Batman. I thought they talked enough about Batman, but apparently they just keep messing up. Now, as we know, there's a number of patches that are going out trying to fix things, and as we know, Steam pulled Batman, because of how bad it was. And now they were offering, not too long ago, a free indie game for PC gamers because of it. But that's not all. Batman Arkham Knight mod lets you explore Gotham as Catwoman, Joker, and others. So it's a mod. Now, mind you, they came out with all this DLC and carry on, but all it takes is a mod for you to get into this and, like I said, explore Gotham as other characters, as said characters. If you're interested in the mod, like I said, the link will be in the info bar. Also, Batman Arkham Origins, the developer, is hiring a new open world IP. You couldn't get Arkham Origins together. What makes you think I would buy anything from you at this point? And a lot of people are saying, well, why don't you fix Origins first? You have to understand that's not the developer's problem. That's the publisher's problem. The publisher has to give them the order to say, hey, look, you know what I mean? Give them the money in order to say, look, we still need more time to fix this. That's what it is. You can't jump on the developers for that. That's a publisher thing. You have to look at WB Games with that. You have to, all right? And then they can come back in and fix it. But as we know, they're not going to fix Origins. And you did a piss poor job on Batman Arkham Origins. What makes you think that you should be supported in a new game? Just saying. You should know you're only as good as your previous game. Gaming is more of a what have you done for me lately type thing. So if you messed up badly on one game where it was almost unplayable, it was erasing saves and things of this nature, and you didn't fix it, and then you want to start a new IP and say, hey, buy from us, hell no. That's just common sense. Why would I do that? Let me move on. Speaking of more common sense and why would I do that, Star Wars Battlefront, EA, and their bullshit. Let's go right now. Star Wars Battlefront does not have a Death Star based map. Fail. Already fail. You want to know what's even more fail, EA? Check this out. For these people who don't know, okay? EA reveals why Star Wars Battlefront at walkers aren't playable. You know, the walkers with the two legs that you can shoot. Yeah, you shoot people. You know what? The original the other Battlefronts, they had those. And you decide that you're going to make a new Battlefront, but take them out? Are you crazy? You know what? I don't care about your excuses. I don't want to hear it. The fact is, you are taking, and we've seen the list in the previous videos I've done, where we showed the list of things that won't be in it. Slowly but surely, you just keep taking and taking and taking away. And you want this to sell. Look, I put it like this. It's going to sell because Star Wars fans, it's Star Wars. They're going to buy it. What they showed at E3, people were just like, ooh, ah. But they're not looking at the technical parts of things. They're not looking at what you can do. It's already said. It was already reported that they're going to limit character creation. Like, what do you want? What do you want from us, EA? You just want to keep fucking with people, or should I say, it should be DICE. Should I be complaining? I don't know if I should be saying EA or DICE. You just keep fucking up everything, and yet you still want people to buy your product. Now, I'll put it like this. When this game comes out, and people start complaining, I don't want to hear, oh, you're entitled gamers. I don't want to hear that. You are fucking up left and right, and you think that people should just buy it off a whim because it's Star Wars. Like it's, and you know what's going to happen. But anyways, last piece of news for the video. Oh my God. Shenmue. This is actually good news. All right. Yu Suzuki is planning HD talks with Sega for Shenmue 1 and 2. As far as I'm concerned, Sega, and we know Sega doesn't really care about a lot of things. We know this. Sega, don't be stupid. Release the HD. Did I not say this before? What did I say? Is Shenmue 1 and 2 going to be an HD release? Are they going to bundle it? What are you going to do, Sega? Sega, don't be stupid. Release them in HD. You can make money off of this. And as far as I'm concerned, please, I mean, if it's possible, I know Sega likes to be cheap because they're throwing all their money at Sonic Boom, Fire and Ice. Yeah, because that's the rate you want to go, right? Yeah, Sega. Please let this have a physical release. If Shenmue 1 and 2 HD has a physical, you bundle it together and you put this on a physical release, I will go and buy this day one. Of course, saying if it's for the PS3, of course. You know? But that's a day one buy, man. That is. Anyways, Sega, don't fuck this up. Anyways, I'm done for today. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. I got a lot of things to do. I gotta get back to practicing on game anyway. I'm practicing on Under Night and Birth, and don't even get me started on Under Night and Birth. Anyways, because the new one's coming out soon. I knew that was going to happen. I knew as soon as I bought that damn game, they were going to announce a new one coming out. I knew they were going to do that. Anyways, I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. I'm out.